So
Let me check.
Live?
I think that we're live now. Let me double check. Let me double check.
It might take a few moments. Oh, yep. Or no, that's a
No, that's Origin notifying me that somebody's
People
on.
use Origin?
Yes, believe it or not, people who like only EA games. So that means a total of 3 people worldwide. Oh my god, it's okay, it is live.
Alright, we're live.
Spartan Aviation says hello there. A random guy says hi.
Hello! Have I been introduced on this channel yet?
So guys, this is my brother Vasily.
Hello!
A frequent joke that I have is that, because like we both have Russian names, Russian Ukrainian names, and out of the two of us, you have the most Russian sounding name, where I have the name that is borderline a fake name for somebody.
Like, wait, what? Really?
Well, no. It's just in that, like, my name is so obscure, I wouldn't be surprised if I was 1 in 3 people worldwide who had this name. But
I always thought that, like, I knew Vasily was a kind of common name.
Vasily is incredibly rare.
I thought
common. I mean,
I thought that Taras was like a fairly common name.
No.
I didn't realize it was obscure.
No, it was incredibly obscure. We just got back from the world's best ramen place,
Which I introduced him to.
Yeah, which you introduced me to. You suggested that we go there. So we had that, and that was really good, even if it was very spicy.
He decided to get the army ramen, which I forget what was in it, but it was like
It was a lot of spicy stuff.
It was the spiciest stuff that they had.
I also appreciated that they didn't judge, that they just brought napkins, because I was sweating profusely while eating it.
Yeah, like, within seconds of you taking your first bite, your face just kind of like, foom, and it was just completely red.
Here, I'm trying to bring up the chat. Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
You could probably bring it up. Somebody's yelling about Halo 3 being better than Halo 4, which I agree with. You were supposed to say General Kenobi, says Spartan Aviation. Oh, because he said, I get it. So what do? This furry girl called me her boyfriend?
Stay far away.
Do you like this furry girl? And it depends on, is she a good person outside of her furry stuff that she's super into? Because you could make that work. You can read the chats.
Yeah, I have the chat up on my phone.
So I don't know how to...
Someone says get the shotgun. I agree.
So that's a bit aggressive. That's a bit aggressive.
So I'm a lot more into anime than you are, so I'm a bit deeper into like the weird side.
A bit into anime?
A bit. Just a tiny bit.
It's a passing hobby for you.
But I'm a lot deeper into the weird side of the internet, so like I've seen furries at their worst, and I can no longer separate the like nice, tolerable ones from the extreme weirdos. So I've kind of like gone into the extreme anti-furry, but oh well, that's me.
It's God's job to forgive furries.
Good, then my Tommy gun doesn't need to.
I like her, and we share the furry hobby. You share...
Oh,
okay.
If you share it, then I guess...
What do you think of this girl? Oh no, hang on. I need to turn down this game, because this is a loud game. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm not exactly... When it comes to furry dating, I'm probably the absolute worst person to talk to. Also, hello, person whose Russian name is Ivan Ivanov Ivansky.
Ivan Ivanov
Ivansky.
It's like
nice to meet you.
Sally sells seashells down by the seashore.
Do people actually have trouble saying that?
Well, I think that like people think that they have trouble just because in their mind they expect it to be hard to say because of pop culture.
I've never had trouble with...
Like, S's are really easy to do. V is a little bit more complicated, which is why Ivan Ivanovich Ivovsky, or, like, that's harder to do than Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. Hang on, I have to turn down the sound.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, this is a loud game. Okay. There we go. This is probably a little bit better. Okay.
What's your opinion on the plasma repeater in Halo Reach?
Plasma repeater? It's dumb. It's dumb, that's just my opinion. It's like, no, but see, the thing is, unlike most plasma weapons, it does weak damage against shields and does good damage against your body. It's like, oh, so it's an assault rifle, which is already in the game. Why do we need a plasma version of that?
But regarding that
remember Halo Reach?
Halo Reach, that was a good game. I liked it.
That was a pretty good game.
I spent a lot of time messing around in 4s.
Yeah, when we
get
into the nitty-gritty, I think it has combat problems, but that's like more of you have to be a Halo nerd with like no personality to really get it. It's a good game.
It is a good game. I wasn't a fan of multiplayer. I've never been a fan of multiplayer. In all honesty, I've never had the reflexes to play multiplayer well.
We liked Black Ops 1 multiplayer split screen.
For some reason, I was really good at quickscoping in Black Ops 1, but that was about it, and I have never been good at any other multiplayer game except maybe, like, League of Legends. But that's like an entirely different can of worms.
Have I ever played Deus Ex Mankind Divided? I have. It's a fantastic game in spite of itself.
I really enjoyed it, but did I ever tell you about the absolute fucking nightmare I had with it when it first came out?
Oh yeah, you couldn't get it to work for like the first year.
Yeah, I could not get it to work, and the tutorial level literally did not load. I have photographs I have uploaded to my Steam account of, like, half of one of the tunnels loading and the other half just not loading. Items floating, like, 30 feet up in the air. It was a nightmare.
What is super chats? Somebody's bringing that up in the comments.
Super chats?
Yeah, what is... You know what? Hang on.
I have no idea. I can look it up.
Let me turn up the gamma. I bet it looks very dark on the stream, because I know things... It's very bright on my PC, but Here we go. Is this a little bit easier to see for you guys?
Yeah, people say that it's a little bit better. Okay, so... Super Chat is a new way for fans and creators to interact during live streams. Fans can purchase Super Chats to highlight their messages within the live stream chat.
Who gets the money?
Probably YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably goes to YouTube.
Basically a way to pay. It's basically a way to pay to make your messages look fancy.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like, I want to give YouTube my money. I thought it was gonna be like super humble for a second. Like it was, you can donate to your favorite character. It's like, no, it'll probably just go to YouTube.
So, okay, 2 questions about Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Should it be a classic Halo with just faster pacing? Or do you think it's going to be an open world game due to animals, the focus on nature, and the new engine?
So here's my opinion on Halo Infinite. I doubt it can be a classic Halo game just because of the modern landscape of gaming. And I don't say that in that classic Halo's outdated, because in my opinion, I think classic Halo is just way better than the modern Halo. But I also understand that there's a lot of people who think that the ability to sprint and aim down the sights somehow makes the gameplay better. So chances are they're going to go after that crowd. I'm expecting Halo Infinite to be a direct response to these live service games like Destiny, The Division. So not exactly open world, but kind of along those lines, just with a Halo twist to it.
Someone's really surprised at your FOV.
That it looks reasonable, that it's not like 90 field of view like a console.
What is like your typical FOV in most games?
All as high as it can go, which is usually 120. If it lets me go higher, I'll see about it, because I know Quake Champions, which I've recently been playing, it lets you go to 144 or 140, and that looks fantastic.
Though that is Quake, like that's an entirely different type of game, and so high FOV could actually work really well.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Quake Champions is a really good game. But
I've never actually really done much of Quake. Like I said, I've never been a multiplayer guy. I've always preferred solo games.
Quake Champions is free to play, and it's a lot of fun. Which, to be fair, though, I think the reason it's free to play is because nobody cares about Quake Champions.
Also, he didn't specify, but apparently one of us is a Sony pony, so...
Which one of us is a Sony pony?
I don't know.
I used to use that as an insult for all my friends who liked the PS3 back when I cared about console wars. Man, console wars are really stupid.
Like, I understand what, like, being raised on a console and so wanting to support it. Like, excuse me. I totally think the GameCube is so much better than the PlayStation Classic just because I was raised on it.
Because the GameCube was better. Well, the PlayStation Classic, of course the GameCube's better. You're talking about the PS2, right?
Or whichever one was, like, in that era.
It was the PS2, which, you're right, the GameCube was so much better than the PlayStation 2.
Rayman 3, Luigi's Mansion,
A
Super
good
Mario's...
controller, a cool design with a handle, so when we went up to our friend's house up the street, we could just hold the GameCube.
That was I
Man,
actually learned about
so cool.
I learned a little bit about its development, and that was actually one of the reasons why it has that handle, so that you could just like pick it up and take it to a friend's.
Yeah, GameCube was a super cool console.
F Doomslayer was in Smash. The Slayer rips his way into the battlefield.
What would
boy.
What would the Doomslayers like? Which here's something super weird. So with Doom 2016, Bethesda was very scattered on how they'd refer to him. They'd refer to him as
it's
either
like the Doom Marine, the Doom Slayer.
Well, and then now that Doom is actually good, like it turned out to be a good game. Now they just call him the Doom Slayer. I think the Doom Marine is a cooler name.
I like Doom Marine more. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Doom Slayer came from that, like, ridiculously stupid book that brought in the rip and tear thing.
Well,
was that it?
The Doom novelization did rip and tear.
Like, I know, and I think that was where they brought in the Doom Slayer?
It wasn't the novelization of Doom. I think it was one of the comics for the original Doom, is where the Doom guy's inner monologue was rip and tear.
Yeah, that was just... It's so funny, but Jesus, who the hell thought of it in the first place?
Who took Doom, a game with no story, and was like, let's make a novel out of this?
And, what was I gonna say? I've completely lost my train of thought. How fun. Oh, so you know those shield guys? You can actually get rid of them fairly easily by just using the shotgun grenade launcher and shooting it behind them.
I hadn't thought of that. Like, that's probably, it's the... I mean, for me right now, because I'm playing with a mouse and keyboard, using grenades has become a lot easier, as opposed to a controller where grenades are very inconvenient because of button locations and, aiming and all this stuff. Yeah, Doom's a lot more fun to play with a mouse and keyboard. You can do a lot more, because you have like 100 buttons at your disposal that you can map your abilities to.
Alright, so, question.
Yeah.
Someone says that I sound like the YouTuber Racevic.
Racevic?
Racevic.
You do sound kind of
I sound like him?
It's either Reykjavik. No, it's Racevic. I asked him.
I have no idea how you pronounce that name.
Racevic's a pretty cool guy. He and I hang out. Kind of, yeah, if you were to not yell, I'm not saying that in like a, you're yelling, like, more in like a, if you were to talk very clinically and just be like, Doom is a 2016 shooter.
I would probably sound...
You'd sound, there would probably be a...
Yeah, I'm talking kind of loud right now, at least loud
because there's a microphone.
In my mind, because there's a microphone, and whenever I don't talk like this, I'm always, like, way too quiet.
Ow.
I'm always, like, way too quiet, so, like, fixing that by screaming loudly. You know what? We should call the Doom Marine the Thought Slayer.
Somebody's saying it just sounds like I'm talking to myself. I can confirm that we are both different people. Watch. We'll say the same thing at once. We'll talk at once. Ready? Say something.
One of the funniest things that I...
There we go. The delay was not intentional, by the way.
You guys have a wish list for Halo Infinite.
Voss, how much do you care about the Halo franchise?
I mean, like...
Be honest, how much do you actually care about Halo?
I can appreciate it casually.
Dude, Voss doesn't care. That's like when Voss starts as, like, I think I appreciate...
I do appreciate it, like, casually, like, back when we used to, like, make shitty Forge maps and then just play the two of us.
Man, remember before we got Xbox Live and the only way we could get access to the Halo 3 DLC maps was via ODSTs?
second disc, and we didn't have ODST at the time. So we had to constantly borrow the second ODST disc from our buddies so that we can forge on Foundry and Sandtrap. Or Sandbox, I mean.
Yeah.
Those were good times. Man, Forge is fun.
Okay, so Tross.
I made a mistake. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. You know what?
Okay.
Oh no,
But at the very least, I don't start every sentence with, here's the thing.
Yeah. yeah, that's the way to tell us apart, is Voss doesn't start his sentence with, here's the thing.
Ugh. Let me see. There was a thoughts on the Dishonored franchise. I really loved the first game. The second game, gameplay-wise, I think was very good, and aesthetic-wise, it was also good, but it was so drastically different from Dishonored 1 that I can't say it's as good as the original.
Yeah, I've heard Dishonored 2 is a bit of a poop from the butt.
I, completely cleared it, 100% achievements, everything, because I enjoyed playing it, but it is not a very good Dishonored game. It's a good stealth game, a good assassination game or whatever, but, it doesn't really feel like a good Dishonored game. Because one of the big things about the first game was that it was kind of fairy tale-like. It was just a nice story, there was no real complexity, and then in the end everything was just wrapped with a nice, neat little bow. And then in the second game they try to bring in all of this, political conflict and intrigue, and, it's fun, but it doesn't feel like Dishonored 1 anymore.
Well, the way that a trilogy goes, the usual rules are, your first game establishes the character and establishes the sense of adventure and the conflict. The middle chapter is where not a lot happens plot-wise, but there is a lot of diving into the psychology of the character and what makes them tick. Where the final game is the final, we're gonna take down the conflict, we're gonna stop the who cares.
But I suppose you can kind of say that as the Death of the Outsider is technically a different game. I've
heard Death of the Outsider is just straight up bad.
It was okay, I suppose. The powers aren't as fun. There was one very good mission where you had to infiltrate a bank, and it even had, a Prey Easter egg in it. You could find, what's his name? Kim or whatever? I forget the protag's name in Prey.
Morgan Yu?
Morgan Yu, yeah. Why the hell did I say Kim? God, I'm racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it because his fucking eyes are slanty? You racist fuck.
I'm a racist piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, Morgan Yu, you can find, a bank vault for him in the Dishonored Death of the Outsider bank mission. But, outside of that one mission, it's okay, I suppose. And, as the name implies, Death of the Outsider, the game ends with you either sparing and removing the Outsider's power, which basically means no more supernatural shit in the Dishonored world, or killing him, which, no more supernatural shit anyways. So basically Dishonored is basically done, unless they're gonna pull something out of their ass and make a new Outsider or whatever.
Well, if I remember right, Dishonored 2 did not sell well. So I can't imagine that Death of the Outsider sold better. I do
have to say one thing about the game, about Death of the Outsider, though. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, the final mission is weird. It's basically, there's this whole mine shaft system, and you need to climb your way up it. There are cultists and whatnot. You fight your way through them or sneak past them. You get to, the top level, you do a thing, and then you have to go back through it, except, you've now entered the other side of the world.
Okay.
And so, everything suddenly turned all trippy, and there are, enemies walking through the walls, and, they operate in an invisible map that is different from your map. So, there are random walls they can't pass, but then they can just, walk through the ceiling perfectly fine. It's really creepy and weird. It's very easy for you to lose your sense of direction in that final mission, but anyway, that's just, it was a holy shit moment for me.
I'm gonna switch over to Quake Champions after this.
Is it a fun game?
It's fun. I mean, it's like an old school shooter. Like, in that there's very, very little to... You know, there's not, like, classes.
Everyone is apparently just spamming F now.
F?
Yeah, press F for to pay respects.
Oh no.
I don't know why, but...
Is the stream done? Did the stream die?
Did the stream die? I don't think so. The stream looks like it's working fine.
Okay, maybe... Wait. Guys, what are we paying our respects to?
People started spamming like different versions of "here's the thing" and "poop from a butt."
Oh.
And now they're just spamming F.
Listen, I've consumed some alcohol, so if I sound repetitive, that's probably because my brain's operating at 30% capacity. Also, I'm playing Doom, so my brain is just like, what are things that we usually say? Poop from a butt, here's the thing. We'll rely... Oh boy. Okay, we're going over to Quake Champions. I'm not going to give the game the satisfaction of letting me die in the lava.
There is that really great death Easter egg, though, in the lava.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as you sink down, you do the Terminator thumbs up.
Time to go down under in the bottle late night.
Someone called you drunk late night daddy.
Drunk.
I feel disgusted. I want to vomit right
Guys, I'm gonna pull a magic trick. I'm gonna make this 6-pack turn into a case of domestic abuse. Here we go. That was a funny joke I shared on Facebook the other day.
I was quite proud of that one. Late nut gaming, somebody calls me. That's pretty good. I like that one. I'm Christian. Is it okay that I play Doom? Of course.
You're slaughtering demons. God will be very pleased with you.
Well, no, and then also, like, you also need to have that level of context where you get that, like
I feel like... I remember when we were younger, and my mom, who was super fundamental, our mom, who was super Christian, and she wouldn't let us play Resident Evil. She didn't even know what the game was about. She just saw the name, and she was like, it implies that...
Oh boy, turn down the volume.
Yeah. She's like, it implies that there's evil living with you. It's demonic. And it's like, Mom, it's a name that they thought would sound cool.
Even
like,
more
it's
so...
not that deep.
Even more so is like, it's a name like that from Japan. So
Yeah.
I don't know this. I think Resident Evil has a different name, like Project Biohazard or whatever. But like, when you hear a name like Resident Evil from a Japanese company, you know it's just them trying to be edgy.
To shove you in.
Shut the fuck up. Hang on, I gotta turn down this audio before it starts getting loud, because this game has some loud menu music.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you heard... Hey, Tross. Have you heard of my boy Roanoke?
My boy Roanoke. Roanoke Gaming?
Is that like... The first thing I thought of was that mysterious American settlement that they just kind of vanished.
So have
without
you
a
heard
trace.
of my boys, the missing at Roanoke?
You're kind of a few hundred years too late to find them.
It's like, hey, my boys, they've been missing for a few hundred years now. Settlement at Roanoke, represent!
So, I don't know if there's a version of Doom where you play as Jesus, but I do know there is a version of Doom where you can fuck the demons. H-Doom. Look it up. It's horrifyingly intriguing.
Do I think that Halo Infinite will be at Gamescom? Here's the thing. I've said predictions that have turned out to be horribly wrong before. So here's... I think maybe I can jinx it. No, we will not see any Halo Infinite gameplay at Gamescom. Not a single scrap of footage. So I'm hoping that that will come back to bite me in the ass, because I hope we see Halo Infinite at Gamescom.
But that guy, he clarified, yeah, Roanoke Gaming.
Okay, Roanoke.
Your thoughts on him? Or her? I don't know.
He rings a bell. Like, that name...
definitely seen that channel before, if not already subscribed to it.
I've never even heard of him.
Oh, and if you're wondering, Voss, why this game looks so bad, like the graphics,
Why?
well, it's purposefully designed
To look like shitty old graphics.
well, not to look like shitty old graphics. It's about maximizing frames, because Quake. I mean, you see how kind of like like snappy it is. It's all about the fast frame rate. You need this game to perform well. So graphically, this game is not demanding because it wants the highest frame rate possible because it's so reactionary.
Dexter has arrived. Hello.
Dexter.
I don't know. He has a blue name and a little wrench next to his name, so I think he's kind of important. Maybe.
My favorite hero in this game is DJ Blazkowicz. His ability when it maximizes is he gets the ability to wield whatever he's holding.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, Blazkowicz is a lot of fun to play as.
There's, oh, what was it? Oh, come on. There was this game that I was playing where, like, you could find weapons that one of the perks was that if you pick up this kind of weapon, you automatically start dual wielding any of this kind of weapon, and it was super fun. And I can't remember the name of any of it. God damn it!
That was incredibly vague.
I know. Ugh, I hate this. Let me see.
Doom's multiplayer is kind of like a shitty version of this. The new Doom game.
I forgot Doom even had a multiplayer.
It's not good. It's not very good. It's got like loadouts and it's got it's pretty bad. It's also weirdly enough got like this demon ring system where you can become a demon and just get a bunch of kills. Like it's just boring. It disrupts the combat. It's not fun for anybody who's not the demon. It's not great for multiplayer.
What they might have should have done is rather than might have should have.
What they might have should have maybe done.
What they
is could have would have should have done.
They should have done something a bit more like what was its name? Evolve, where like you have like a team of say 4 demons and then a team of like 8 humans, and it's intentionally unbalanced.
Well, it's asymmetrical is the term you're looking for.
Yeah, asymmetrical.
Yeah, where they're balanced against each other, but not balanced in that they're equals. They're not equals. They have a very different set of skills and abilities, but it's asymmetrically balanced against each other.
Has anyone heard about Installation 01?
Installation 01, that's a free-to-play Halo game that's coming out on PC.
Is that? I thought that was just making like a cheeky Halo reference.
No. Installation 01, it's running on the Unity engine, and it got the official go-ahead from Microsoft.
Oh, wow, fancy.
343, so it is coming to PC, and it'll be completely legal.
That's not something that happens often. Fan games getting the official go-aheads.
Yeah, there was recently a fan game called El Dorito, but that was kind of highly illegal, because basically the way that the modders did the game was there was an exploit that allowed for a download of a Russia-only Halo Online game that ran on a Halo 3 engine, and
I think I've heard about
that was kinda not okay for them to use the exploit to get it. Even though it was there, it was not legally theirs to then gain access to, modify, and then actively distribute. And Microsoft...
it's one of those situations.
And the thing is, what's kind of unfortunate is it's a lot of fun, El Dorito, but it's also kind of like piracy. And the problem is that big companies, unless they protect their intellectual property, legally they can lose their ability to hold on to that property because they've demonstrated they're not willing to protect it. So it's kind of like you're forced to take down shit like that, even if it is a lot of fun. Which is interesting, seeing as Valve recently, with Hunt Down the Freeman. I want to see how that plays out, because I can't imagine... In fact, I almost theorize, that portal builder, whatever?
The bridge constructor?
Yeah. Part of me theorizes the only reason that exists is because Valve has been so bad with protecting the Half-Life intellectual property that they had to get something out to prove that they can still maintain that property.
There was also someone, like, dug up some news about it, and, like, in Hunt Down the Freeman never actually is mentioned. Who you're hunting is never even mentioned, if I remember correctly. It's, like, in name only or something.
Do you think it would be good if the open world in Halo Infinite would be a real Halo ring? Like, if the open world is a real Halo ring? Or do you think that the world would be too empty? Like,
do you mean, like, the entire... all the kilometers, that, like, just the entire circumference of the ring, if you could explore it? I'd imagine console limitations would play a part.
Console limitations would definitely cause a problem, and if it, like, even if somehow ignoring console limitations, I do think that the entire Halo ring would be a bit extreme. But I think that, like, say it could be a Halo ring that has been partially damaged and is in the process of repairing itself. And so you are, like, limited to a certain section of the Halo ring overworld, and on that section of the overworld, you have your open world map and can do whatever you want.
Well, and that's especially good because if Halo Infinite does turn out to be a Destiny-style live service game, that opens up for story-related content where different parts of the Halo ring gradually open up. As the years go on, they patch it, add new content, new expansions. And you can gain access to other parts of the ring. Like, it's going to be weird. We don't know a lot. Once I die, I need to change my character to BJ.
So should Halo have a region and graphics/resolution selector? I have no idea what any of that means.
I think it mostly means, like, just because Halo 5 kind of notoriously went through a lot of graphical downgrades. To the point where the final game didn't look nearly as good as it could have been, because they were trying to get to 1080p 60 frames per second. And so a lot of the Halo community is kind of like, hey, maybe, like, let us have the ability to have an unstable frame rate if it means the game doesn't look like a boot from a butt.
But the real question, will it look like poop from a duck?
What is poop from a duck?
I don't know. Someone said it in the comments.
Oh, somebody... Oh, that's a callback. I was, like, talking about rape in the duck community and, like, how weird, like, duck biology is. Have you
Duck biology is fucking...
Have I ever told you this story?
Bird biology is fucking weird,
Have I ever told you about this story? Yeah, look, see, you can be BJ Blazkowicz. Have you ever heard about, like, duck rape?
Like, the way that the female ducks' vaginas have, like, grown to be this, like, weird maze.
Yeah, this, like...
And to counter that, male ducks' penises have grown to be, like, tentacle monsters.
Yeah, it's like this creepy, like, worm thing that, like, snakes around. Because, like, yeah...
The fucking weird, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape in the duck community. And the duck's biology has responded accordingly.
So what's my name? My name, if you've forgotten, is Vasily.
Well, remember, people are joining.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah. New people.
Yeah, this is somebody new. He couldn't have forgotten something he didn't know.
When you first looked into the MCC Insider, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded? There we go. That's the quote I'm looking for.
You win.
Okay.
And then they respond with, paralyzed, dumbstruck, and then I go, no!
People keep saying that we sound similar.
We do kind of sound similar via the microphone.
I've never understood that, though that is partially just, you know, the way sound waves travel through the skull and make your voice not sound like your voice.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, so, like identical twins. You know what the single greatest thing about them is? They never have to experience the, wait, my voice sounds like that?
Oh, good point.
They never have to listen to that, because they always know what they sound like, because of the twin.
Apparently the microphone quality is bad?
Is it?
Dolan Dark. Somebody brought up Dolan Dark. Here's something super funny. I followed Dolan Dark when he had 10,000 subscribers a couple years ago. At that time, his channel was called Danger Dolan. And it was...
Oh, Danger Dolan. I know him by that name.
I remember following his channel specifically because I thought his intro was hilarious, and then it was just him going, Danger Dolan, and then that was it. And I mean, obviously the reason his channel blew up is because it was a lot of low-effort, top 10 type videos, but...
Someone says we should play Enter the Gungeon, and you don't have that downloaded on your computer, so we can't, but oh my god, I am a god at that.
Hang on. The microphone quality's going down?
Microphone quality?
Is the microphone quality going down? Sounds... That sounds kind of fine. I mean, it's a little bit fuzzy. Could that just be, like, the stream quality?
Might also be my phone audio.
I mean, we'll keep monitoring it. Let me know if it gets worse.
Play Futanari Quest. Oh, boy.
Futanari Quest.
You know what Futanari are, right?
No.
Oh, boy.
What are
Futanari are girls with penises.
Oh, God.
As in, they have all reproductive organs.
Oh. Okay.
Everything. All in one nice little package, sometimes wrapped up with a bow. Okay. But, let's see.
Mr. BJ.
Let me see, what... Yeah, people are saying that quality's going down a little bit.
Does 343 Industries watch your videos? I mean, when you say 343 Industries, like, no, the studio does not actively monitor my videos.
But, like, employees might
Yeah,
stop
like
by.
individual friends. Yeah, I see a couple of them, like friends that I've made from 343 who like comment every once in a while in my comment section.
Play Futanari Quest, or you gay?
See, it's not gay if two guys kiss, because guys kiss girls. Right? So it's not gay.
So, like, you're kissing a girl
You're kissing...
through another dude.
Right.
So I see. Yeah, it's not gay.
Right. It's not... Right, you get it.
Never give in.
Traps are 100% gay, though.
No,
Don't
traps...
hide it.
No, traps are not gay.
They are totally gay.
No, it's like, well, it depends on if the trap identifies as a girl or a guy, depending on who the trap is. It's like, what, like, if you identify as a girl and you pass off as a girl, fine.
I'm not commenting on this.
Yeah, no, we need to talk about the moral...
Were you born with a penis? You are a dude. Do you not have a penis? You are a woman. Period. Dot. There is no other answer.
I think it's a little bit... This is where our political...
There is no spectrum. It is black or white in this situation.
Well, biologically, yes, but in terms of culturally, we have the ability to not make that a reality anymore.
We shouldn't in that case.
Well, no, because like if people feel more happy and more comfortable with themselves as the opposite
yes,
gender,
as the 70% suicide rate implies.
Well, hang on. This is dangerous because now we're actually
This is why I said I didn't want to comment, because it'll go in this direction.
The thing is, Voss, also keep in mind that I've been hospitalized, so I've been around a lot of people like that. So there's a level of empathy that I gain and that I have seen people actually become happier people by accepting that maybe they identify more as a woman and have actively become stronger and gone on to do good things. So from where I've sat, I have seen only good come from people being okay with that. So keep that in mind. It's all subjective. We all have our different viewpoints. Man, the chat's about to go crazy. We should not have gotten into that conversation.
Yeah, I tried to avoid it, but oh well.
Should Halo Infinite have poop from a duck? Should Halo Infinite have poop from a duck? That's a good question to ask, actually. Somebody's saying execute Order 66.
I guess. It's nice. Order 6... So, in Star Wars,
Uh-huh.
realistically, the rebels take down the Empire.
Right.
What sort of government do they have in place?
Well, nothing.
Nothing.
But
Taking down the Empire will just cause, like, mass instability in all the governments and just cause more problems.
which is interesting in that Disney's Star Wars, I've progressively grown sour on, in that I don't, like, Disney has corporatized Star Wars and it's not very special, but, like, so here's the interesting thing about Disney I say here's the thing. Disney's Star Wars is, the state of the galaxy is pretty realistic if we were to take Star Wars seriously, in that no, killing the Emperor would not have destroyed the Galactic Empire. In fact, it would have caused a Nazi Germany type situation, which led to the rise of the First Order, where they were being suppressed by the new Galactic Republic. But it's also like Star Wars isn't a realistic universe. Like, you need to have that fantastical element to it.
Yeah, apparently someone says that in Legends 2, a new government appears called the New Republic, which basically makes everything better.
Well, I assume that the rebellion in Star Wars lore, I assume that how the rebels were able to form a new government is that the rebellion is secretly funded by bureaucrats and politicians from the Empire side that are still pro-democracy and are not exactly happy.
But weren't you just talking about how we have to not take this realistically?
Well, I'm saying in terms of where a new Galactic Republic would come from out of nowhere. Yeah, no, Star Wars is fucked, man. Like, the dark secret of the Star Wars universe is that it should not have continued after Episode 6. That's where Star Wars should have ended.
It really should have, but it was too big of a cash grab.
Yeah, it was too big of a cash grab. Like, and even then, I feel almost like...
Alright, so emergency interruption.
Yeah.
Some guy got a hamster.
Oh my god.
His name is Gerald.
Gerald. Send me, do you have a Facebook or a Twitter account? Send me via DMs a picture of Gerald the hamster.
Gerald the hamster.
That's a pretty good name for a hamster.
Yeah, we named all of our first few hamsters like Colossus,
Goliath,
Behemoth, like all
Behemoth,
huge names.
Leviathan. Yeah, like we had like these impossibly large names for our
And
hamsters.
then we ended up picking Logan for one of them because he kept scratching at the box and it reminded Mom of Wolverine.
Yeah.
And then ever since then we've kind of drifted away from big names, but we've
Yeah.
still always named them ridiculous
Well,
stuff.
to the point that the current hamster is named Dumpling, like a Chinese dumpling because he's round and fat like that. So, like, I mean, like, right now I've been kind of, like, strategizing, because Dumpling's probably on his way out the door. He's probably hitting his expiration date at any point now. Can you ask about Amma? Yeah, you can ask about Amma.
Okay, not sure if that was something you wanted to talk
It
about.
was
but...
dramatic, but, I mean, most breakups are very dramatic. I hope that she's doing well. I'm doing much better. I know that Amma is streaming on her YouTube channel, and I mean, if you guys enjoyed Amma, I'd recommend hanging out with her, you know, for her. I mean, obviously don't carry over stuff, like, yeah,
The past is the past,
yeah, the
so
past,
leave it as is, focused on the future.
Yeah.
But boy, the atmosphere, it just sink and got cut in pieces. Oh, that guy does, that guy with Gerald does have you in his Twitter, so he's sending you pics.
Oh, good. I gotta see this hamster.
Alright, so. If SimX Udi had a hamster, it would be named Princess.
Princess the hamster?
Princess the hamster.
That's fine. I mean, it's a little bit unambitious, but it's like, it's good.
I think hamsters should have, like, cuter name. Like, not like girly cute, but like
listen,
fluffy cute.
Listen, naming a hamster Chewy, that's a pretty good fucking name for a hamster.
Chewy would be an absolute. Okay, so, your favorite superhero. Stain! Oh, he's not a superhero, he's a villain, but I guess All Might.
Spidey-Man.
Spidey-Man! Spidey-Man's cool.
Spider-Man's pretty cool, even though Sony doesn't want me to be. Like, I get that everyone's really excited about this Spider-Man video game. I'm not. Because Sony's tied to it, which means their film studio is tied to it, which means the video game is probably going to heavily push a multiverse aspect because Sony is desperately trying to make a Spider-Man cinematic universe. And I don't want it. Nobody wants it. So the Spider-Man video game, I'm anticipating to be a vehicle for their...
Almost 100% definitely.
Turn down the audio.
That would actually probably be a good show that you would like.
What?
In response to the superhero comment, One Punch Man. It's an anime series that parodies the superhero genre.
I've seen a couple clips of it. It's pretty funny.
Like, there's some really great humor in it, but like on a deeper level, it is a very good parody of the superhero genre. It praises the superhero genre in all the ways that a parody does, because they're good, but at the same time, it still pokes fun in all the right ways. Yeah, and of course, All Might, the United States of Smash.
Wait, Xbox is teasing Halo Infinite for Gamescom? There's a bit of Chief's helmet on the thumbnail. What?
Wait, what?
Guys, keep me up to date. I don't usually watch streams live. I wait until they're done and then I just skip to the parts I'm interested in. If they start talking about Halo Infinite shit, we'll watch the stream live on this stream. Unless the stream's not happening today, in which case, never mind. It's the Russia DLC.
Russia?
Yeah, it's the Battlefield 1 Russia DLC.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I didn't even realize you were playing Battlefield 1 now.
yeah, I switched over to Battlefield 1. Yeah, and it's the Russian DLC.
We have taken objective George.
Here, let me
Turn down the volume first. Yeah. Yeah, my voice cracked. Procrastreon says that the whole Spider-Verse thing ruins Spider-Man. Now there are multiple versions of Spider-Man running around that have unique abilities that make OG Spidey look pale in comparison.
Well, it's also...
I do kind of agree there, but at the same time, I do think, like... I don't know if this is what you're specifically talking about, but, like, the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions or whatever.
Shattered Dimensions.
That was a pretty cool game.
Shattered Dimensions was alright.
It wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty cool, and I especially liked Noir Spider-Man. How, like, you really got to feel the noir. And then also, it made Mysterio cool. Mysterio, thematically, is, like, the coolest villain.
Mysterio is going to be the villain in the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah,
Oh my god!
I'm pretty excited.
I love Mysterio. I love him so much.
Yeah, like, can we stop jerking Venom off and give Mysterio the credit he deserves?
You can be the weakest person on the planet, but if you can break the enemy's mind, it does not matter how strong they are, they cannot fight back. Shakespeare did that in Fate.
I also just think Mysterio's fun. I like his glass bowl that he has.
Yeah, plus that is pretty funny. But
it's fun that he's they've kind of played him up a little bit in Marvel in that he's very kind of hammy and over the top.
But it kind of isn't that the point. He was a stage magician.
No, what I'm saying is back in the 60s when Mysterio was created, that wasn't cheesy. That was they thought that was a cool villain, but as time goes on it comes across as cheesy, so they've embraced that. And so now he's very hammy. But then also what's super weird is in the Marvel universe, at least, Mysterio is this weird gray area where they don't even know if there's one. Because Quentin Beck is dead, but
Mysterio is still appearing.
Yeah, and on top of that, what's weird is Quentin Beck has also been spotted a couple times in the Marvel comic universe, despite being dead. He has a bullet hole in his head from where he was shot, and the bullet hole is constantly bleeding. So but the thing is, like, Mysterio comes in different forms, and he has different, like, voices and statures, so they don't even know if there's one Mysterio, or if it's a gang of people assuming Mysterio's mantle, or if Quentin Beck is just back from the dead, and he's, like, a demon or something. Like, Mysterio's cool.
Yeah, I just love, like, I love Mysterio, I love Scarecrow, I love villains or heroes that take advantage of mental states in order to fight the enemy.
Yeah.
Because, like, if the person's surrounded by an impenetrable force field, oh no, what are you gonna do? Just mind control them or something? Just do that. It can take down anyone.
Someone said the best quote from a Spider-Man movie. We'll meet again, Spider-Man!
That was Green Goblin, right?
Yeah, that was, man, that movie's awful.
All of those movies are horrible.
No, Spider-Man 2 is... Well, Spider-Man 2 also is kinda not great in hindsight. Like, mostly because the worst part of any of the Spider-Man guys, listen, I'm sorry, but Tobey Maguire, like, wasn't that good. Like, as a kid, I thought he was great, but he also was not very good in that his emotions were very, like... He's either got that derpy face or he's crying and, like, slobbering all over himself. Like, and he's, like, kind of like a dick to Mary Jane.
Yeah, definitely that.
Also, Mary Jane, like, is barely a character.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I will have to give the awful, like, Sony-produced Amazing Spider-Man 2, like, all that stuff. I preferred Gwen Stacy to Mary Jane.
Someone says that Andrew Garfield was fine as Spidey, but he was bad as Peter Parker.
Yeah, I'd agree there. He was a very bad Peter Parker, because Peter Parker isn't like a hipster.
He was a nerd.
Yeah,
like a total nerd.
Yeah, like, he shouldn't be, like, tall and lanky. Like, Peter Parker should be, like, super geeky, like, tucking in his shirt tight, which I get doesn't age well, because, you know, the Peter Parker that we remember from the 60s comics, where he had that yellow sweater vest on, like, that
The 60s was a very different time period.
Flash Thompson wearing his, like, sports jacket, that can't exist now, because that's horribly outdated, but... Like, Spider-Man Homecoming, I thought was the best modernization of Peter.
Like, that one I absolutely loved just because of how, in all total honesty, relatable he was.
Yeah, he acted like a little fucking dork. Like, he was like a nerdy loser. Like, he just... Which is what Peter is. And I
like how he invited his friend over to build a Lego Death Star.
Yeah, they were so excited about building a Lego Death Star. And, yeah, it's just like that's the kind of...
Who gets excited about that? Only the weirdos, aka me.
Even the kid who played Flash Thompson in that movie, I forgot the actor's name, he's that Indian actor. That kid was really good at acting like a modern-day bully. In fact, to the point where he reminded me of someone who I actually knew who used to bully me, which I thought was really charming. It was like, I knew someone just like that.
I don't ever really remember getting bullied in school.
Well, because bullies aren't like, oh, you're a prick, I'm gonna shove you into a locker in elementary or middle school. Like, it's more like bullies are almost just as pathetic and sad as the kids that they're bullying. Because the kids that they're bullying are usually getting really good grades and stuff, but they have awful social skills, and they're bullied by the bullies. So the bullies socially look super awesome, but you always see those bullies getting chewed out by teachers and told that they're never going to amount to anything, and that, you know, and you see their parents treating them like shit. So there's usually a flip side to bullies. There's like a tragic reason why they're so full of anger.
Actually, there is a anime movie that I think you would really enjoy that shows bullying in an absolutely incredible way. Like, a very good way. We can talk about it later. I'm not sure if it would be the most interesting thing, but I think you would kind of like it. But, someone commented that the suit was horrible.
For
the Spider-Man suit.
For Homecoming?
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
Really?
The homecoming suit was awesome.
I
Like with the eyes that would move, that was fucking awesome.
wasn't that the CGI suit, or am I thinking it's like Civil War or whatnot?
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't matter if it was CGI. Like, artistically, it was a very good Spider-Man costume, and something I actually appreciated was that the eyes, whenever they would like and switch positions, it sounded like a camera lens focusing. 'Cause Peter Parker's a photographer! Like, it's just like tiny little details like that I'm like, oh, that's cool! It also reminded me of in the comics, the way his eyes would like change and shapes and stuff, depending on how he's emoting. So it's just like, that was a very creative design by Disney. I really liked the homecoming costume.
I really did enjoy that movie, especially, I have to say, and of course, no spoilers, but that scene...
We can spoil.
Okay?
We can spoil. Guys, if you haven't seen it, shut this off for exactly 30 seconds, and when you come back, we'll be done. Okay, go ahead.
That scene in the car where Vulture realizes...
Yeah,
Remember,
that was a very good scene.
That was genuinely terrifying.
That was a very tense scene. Like, I didn't realize in the theater I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
It was... Man, that was just a really fucking good
Not
movie.
to mention, the thing I liked the most was that you can just barely see the reflection of the stop sign, of like the stoplight. And the moment the Vulture realizes, it goes to green.
Yeah. Man, what a fucking...
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, cinematography, symbolism. Man, Spider-Man Homecoming's a really fucking good movie. You guys should go see Homecoming.
It was great.
Spider-Man Homecoming's such a good movie.
And by the way, yes, I was talking about a silent voice.
Spectacular Spider-Man is a very good cartoon. That's a very good cartoon.
I barely remember that one. I barely remember any of, like, the cartoons.
Well, the thing is also about the Spectacular Spider-Man that I suspect they did this as a cheap way to seem deeper than they actually were. There was a lot of, like, musical stuff. Like, I recall this sequence where Spider-Man was fighting Dr. Octopus, and Mary Jane, if I remember right, was also going to the opera, so it would cut in between the opera and the fight outside with Dr. Octopus, and they'd, you know, cut the music into the fight scene and stuff, and they did that a lot, like artsy type stuff like that, to the point where it felt less organic, and it was like, okay, are you trying to seem more cinematic than you are by just being like, look, opera, you don't see that in a kid's show, we're deeper than usual. I can't tell, but no, it was very good.
Someone asks...
Okay, we're starting to yell, we should keep it down. Before we start just shrieking at the top, before we escalate, our volume escalates to uncontrollable
So someone is
levels.
asking... Are you German? Because you sound like you have a German accent.
German? What the fuck?
Can't
German?
you hear the German accent in your voice, Dross?
Right. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot that I'm actually German.
Yeah,
No,
we're Ukrainian, like, what, second generation? Our grandfather is from Ukraine.
We are Russians. Russians with a bit of Ukrainian in us.
Yeah, we don't even have accents. Like, as American as you can get.
Well, no, we have weird accents in that, like, because we grew up around, you know, a lot of Russian people. We have a bad habit of pronouncing English words in Russian-style ways where we enunciate.
I actually realized that myself, where I was trying to say the word Marie, but like, Marie.
Yeah, we
It
accidentally...
sounds weird to not
like,
roll the R.
Yeah, like the name
Marie.
Anna doesn't sound right. We say Anna.
It's Anna. It's not Anna. It's
Yeah, Anna. Yeah, no,
Marie.
which we used to, one of our friends from school we used to call Anna all the time, and it drove her fucking crazy, because she was like, my name's Anna. Why do you keep calling me Anna?
Ukrainian? You mean off-brand Russian?
Yeah, I was going to say Ukrainians or off-brand Russians. You know what Ukrainians are? They're like the equivalent of, like, Russia is, like, Total Wine store-bought vodka. Ukrainians are 7-Eleven vodka.
Oh boy. Alright, so...
No, in general, I think Ukrainians are generally nicer than Russians, because we... Remember how fucking nasty people from our church were? Like, the actual proper Russians, like all the babushkas?
They
would
were...
be like followers.
Ugh.
Like, tucking your shirt, you little brat! And they looked like vultures with, like, their... with their crooked noses and their, like, scarves that they wore. Man, old Russian ladies are the worst. I fucking hate Russians.
I do have to say, though, I like the country for one simple reason. It is really cold.
Even like, Russia is no more cold than other countries. Like, it's warm during the summer.
No, but, like, I hate the heat.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all hate it.
I hate it. I keep my room at a comfy 65 degrees. Any higher, and boy, it's warm. Do we speak Ukrainian? Samulot.
No, Samuel.
Yeah, that's that's butchering it.
You
But...
just say, like, and then also, I appreciate your exact specific word that you choose.
That's really the only word in Russian that I even remember.
Yeah.
It means airplane, by
Yeah,
the way.
you're just like, do you speak Ukrainian? Airplane! Yeah. No, oh no. Well, and it's also probably funny because that probably speaks wonders to how stupidly autistic we were as kids. That the one thing we retain from when we were younger and
Plane!
we did speak Ukrainian and Russian is airplane.
I apparently learned it, like, super quickly, but then I forgot it just as quickly.
Well, we used to speak Russian when we were younger.
Yeah, we learned some of it from our grandfather.
No, like we proper spoke it, or at
Wait,
least
really?
or at least I proper spoke it. Maybe you were young enough to where you just knew words, but then eventually those were phased out for English. But I remember at least being able to properly speak it.
Ugh.
Because I used to read up in the choir the Russian, or no, it wasn't Russian, it was Slavonic.
Oh yeah, then there's also, of course, the one everyone knows, Spasiba.
Spasiba. Yeah.
What else is there?
Or Spazibo if you're playing Metro 2033. Or no. Was it Metro 20? It was some game where you're fighting against Russians, or it might have been Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But you hear Russians and like Spazibo, and it's like, ooh, that's bad.
Oh, and then if you've also...
It's really bad that you pronounced it Spazibo.
If you've ever played Kantai Collection, there's also Khorosho. Yeah.
Хорошо.
I can't do it because my mouth isn't, like,
Хорошо.
proper. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a confirmation
Хорошо.
or a thing is good.
Yeah, хорошо.
I can't do it because my mouth is kind of dry, but... Yeah.
Are you drinking?
mine.
Oh, that's yours. Got it, yeah.
Yeah, we have these huge cans of beer.
These huge cans of alcohol.
They're like 7 feet tall, man.
No, that's unrealistically proportioned. I'm gonna spawn.
Fine, they're only 3 feet tall.
I'm gonna spawn with a Tommy gun.
No, but yeah, they're like, I don't know, 3/4 of a foot.
This gun is ass, by the way. If you guys have like played Battlefield 1, they recently patched this gun in. It's fucking awful. I'm trying to get a different gun, and to get that gun, I have to get a bunch of kills with this gun.
Oh god, I know there's this game that I like to play called World of Warships, where you basically have to go through the same thing, where you have to use lower ranked ships in order to unlock higher ranked ships, and getting battleships is super fucking annoying, because the first few battleships are all super slow reloading, very inaccurate, very low damage, and then all the later ones are good. So you have to suffer through all these bad ones.
Is that
God,
real? Is that the real? That's not the real hidden Xperia in the chat. I'm up to your tricks. Do you think the Germans are evil by nature? Okay, you know
That's
what?
not even a conversation we're getting into.
You know what? No, it's not a conversation we even need to get into. Like, if we're gonna, like, all joking aside, no, people are not evil biologically. No. Like, are you fucking crazy?
Ugh.
Ban fake hidden Xperia. Nah, fake hidden Xperia can stay. Anyone would invade...
Is your brother just a smaller version of you?
Well, I mean, probably. Like, if we were
know.
talking genetically, you're probably technically a minier version of
I
me.
am Taras, compact version.
Well, you're Taras, the earlier model. Well, with type 1 diabetes. So there's some differences. Yeah, hey, so here's the thing about diabetes. How do you feel about the stigma that diabetic people are all fat and eat too much? Considering that you have diabetes and you probably have the fittest body of anybody in our family?
I don't like it, not because of the stereotype or the stigma or whatever, but because of the lack of knowledge, where type 2 diabetes very often is because of obese people. Type 1 diabetes is what I have. It is genetic, and I had no choice. I was going to get it anyways.
Yeah, and isn't it nice? Remember when we were a kid and, like, we went through that cycle where every couple of months we'd go to that testing place and they'd be like, we're so close! Within 2 years we'll have a cure! And it
never came.
And my parents were like, maybe we should just stop spending money on this clear scam. Because, like, the U.S. government clearly doesn't give a fuck, and these pharmaceutical companies don't give a fuck.
Big Pharma wants its money.
They're having a lot of fun making money off of people who need penicillin to fucking live.
Type 2 diabetes is worse. Oh, fuck no. Type 2 can be cured.
Well, it can't be cured. It can... You can get it out of your system via
Of course,
proper...
it may come back if you don't keep yourself,
Well, it may come back in that anybody can get type 2 diabetes if they don't eat well, you know?
Yeah, but with type 1, I need to carefully manage basically every... I can never really get drunk because I will not be in a mental state to take care of myself anymore, and I could possibly die.
Well, here's the thing. I think worse, quote, quote, is all relative in that we can't compare one person's hardships to another because it's all like, well, how do they live? What's their home life like? You know, and then you compare the hardships of living with an illness to that. Like, from our personal experience, type 1 diabetes is a fucking nightmare. It is so many times we've had to call 911 when you were younger because you were having a diabetic seizure. Like, type 1 diabetes is not a fucking joke. Like, it is like the worst thing to deal with.
My first memory, the earliest thing I can ever remember is not my mother, it's being in the hospital.
Right. Well, I remember
the very first thing that I ever remember was I was in a white hallway. There was a weird big guy, obviously the doctor, and he was handing me Rufus. That's my first ever memory.
Rufus, the diabetic teddy bear that they give to children diagnosed with diabetes, which is really sad.
I still have him, and he sits on top of my, like, super huge bookshelf watching over my room, and he's not given out anymore. You'll never be able to get him again.
Yeah, Rufus has been discontinued.
My Rufus, his eyes fallen out. One of his eyes have fallen out. His overalls, one of the straps has broken. He's all dirty. He was such a good friend. Why is this happening to him? I probably could repair him. Probably, maybe,
but we
probably not.
We don't care that much. Yeah, man, diabetes sucks. Well, and it's also, like, it is very annoying in that it's like, you know that the only reason they're not, well, not that they're not trying to cure diabetes.
They are trying because it would be horrifically unethical to not, but it is very clear that they are delaying as much as they can so that they can get money.
Yeah, they're purposefully dragging their feet so that they can milk as much money out of people who require penicillin to live.
That is on one hand very horrible. They should be ashamed of themselves and they should completely stop it. But then also at the same time, I know just how expensive a lot of medical things can be. So they need the money to keep doing hospitals and whatnot.
That's where I do think the government should be funding a lot of that stuff. Like, instead of sending us into fucking wars, we have creating fucking space forces, like creating a Star Destroyer, like,
God
no.
Emperor of Mankind.
Yeah, like, no. Start funding your fucking healthcare systems. Like, Christ on a cross. Like, the fact that in the year 2018, people can die from, like, just, like, the cold if they catch it because they don't have enough money. Like, no, we should be, like, past the point where disease can kill a person.
Not quite yet, I don't think, but I see where you're going, and I do have to bring up the point of, what if, say, there is, like, a fat guy who is constantly getting into health problems because of his obesity. He goes to the hospital, my taxes and, like, the healthcare pays for it. He goes home and doesn't do anything. He continues to live the same horrifically unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, that's where...
I do not want my tax money going to fund only prolonging his inability to fix himself.
Well, the thing is, it's not your tax... It's not your money anymore. It's the government's now. Like...
I understand that there are genuinely some people who need it. I work at a restaurant, and there's a guy who comes in every Sunday-ish, though he hasn't been coming in lately. I'm slightly worried about him. But he genuinely does try to improve his health. But he still could he very much could use healthcare. It would be a great benefit to him. Then, I don't want to say get, like, what, 60% of my paycheck cut? Because some fat guy who won't take care of his health keeps getting sent to the hospital.
Well, your paycheck isn't going to be cut. Like, nothing's going to change. Just a lot of the money that goes into the tax system, it's going to go towards better things that help people live, as opposed to, like, keeping our troops in Iraq and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely... That's stupid.
And it's also, like, also keep in mind, it's not a black and white thing where now everybody has healthcare and you all have to get in line. Like, it's not like that. There are obviously going to be systems in place to keep certain people from abusing the privilege of having universal healthcare. Like, it's not as simple. It's not like communist Russia. Like, we go out into the streets and we're like, it's everybody's. Like no work ever. Like, no, it's going to be, basically, it's a system in place to make healthcare way easier to get for people, which I think it's a little bit too hard for a lot of people.
I do definitely agree that healthcare is a very good thing. As, like I said moments ago, my very first memory is being in the hospital. And I have been in the hospital so many goddamn times that I have developed this very, very deep respect and affection for medical personnel.
Oh boy.
Not just, like, the general practitioners you go to see if you don't feel well, but, like, even, like, the radiologists who you never actually see that are taking care of your x-rays and maintaining the machines. So I want to be a doctor myself, so I understand that medicine is good. As many people as they can should have access to medicine. And disease is a horrible, horrible thing that should be absolutely eradicated from the planet. But there are complications, because humans are not perfect angelic creatures.
Why can't I choose where my tax money goes? Well, in theory, you can choose. It depends on who you vote for. The problem is that the American system is broken, where the person that you vote for guaranteed lied to you, and he will not do what you ask. Which is an unfortunate problem with both the Republicans and the Democrats. You know, for all the, like, rah-rah Trump, he's fixing America, like, almost everything Trump promised he has not followed through on. In fact, he's signed legislation to do the opposite. Like, you know, he's helped out the rich, he's kind of screwed over the poor, he's deregulated things so rich people can get even richer, and, you know, fuck the environment. Same with Obama, you know, a lot of the shit that Obama, like, we can do it, we can change. I forgot his exact quote. It's like, whatever, fuck Obama. He got us back into Afghanistan. Like, fuck him. Like, I hate politicians. I hate the American system.
It's horrible.
It doesn't matter who you vote for. None of them are going to listen to you. They're not going to stand for the policies that they campaigned on. Fuck. I saw that guy. My gun wasn't raised.
The Covenant aren't allowed to call Master Chief a demon. Instead, they refer to him as mortally challenged.
Right, because we need to... Right. If there's one thing the Covenant are, it's very inclusive.
Very inclusive. Can't you see all, like, the great elite purge of the third game?
Someone's making fun of the fact that we sound the same. He's like, I think I stand with Taras on this one as opposed to Taras. Someone's making fun of the fact that we sound the same.
Alright, so someone has been spamming in the comment for a while, and I've been trying to see if I can find a way to slip this into the conversation, so I might as well. What do you think about people being mad at the joke in Doom Eternal? I have literally no idea what this is, so I need explanations.
Okay, the joke in Doom Eternal is that because humanity is siphoning Hell's energy, you know, because Dr. Samuel hated...
this thing.
Yeah.
Like the advertisements in the trailer.
Like Hell is slowly starting to invade our realm.
And they're like actual advertisements in the trailer saying like, we need to include the demons into our society, not push against them,
like, remember,
while they're slaughtering and massacring
like, remember,
the
they're mortally challenged, not demons, because that's rude. Like, here's the thing though, I say here's the thing, I need to stop saying that. I think
here's the thing about here's the thing.
This is what has me mad about both sides of the argument. All of you fucking idiots, it wasn't making fun of liberals. It wasn't like a right-wing... It was just a joke. This person is whatever challenged. It was just a harmless joke. Like, you know these companies, they're trying to sell a product to a mass audience. They cannot have a political statement.
I also remember seeing someone, like, generally compare... Like, Wolfenstein The New Order was a lot more, like, say, liberal-leaning, while then suddenly Doom Eternal, the teaser trailer seems to be weirdly right-leaning, and it's like, they're the same company, why do they have conflicting opinions? It doesn't matter!
No, well, here's the thing about Wolfenstein The New Order. I think a lot of people think it's liberal-leaning, and that it's like, is opposing Nazism, I think everybody, both conservatives and liberals, hate Nazis.
Yeah, nobody likes Nazis.
Nobody likes Nazis. Why are you making this like a, what? Like, and then with Doom, they're like, they're saying like, it's just a reference to the fact that we say things are like, no, think about it, they're this challenge, like, I just think it was a joke. And unfortunately, a lot of dickheads like, oh, they're owning the libtards. It's like, oh no. Now you're going to make it political. You know, as much as I hate SJWs, the anti-SJWs who project...
They can get just as bad.
Who project their political opinions onto things that are
Extremes of any kind are horrible. It doesn't matter whether you are extreme left or extreme right.
And it's annoying.
They're both horrible.
It's annoying because now that people are shrieking about, oh, they're owning the SJW, you know, because you're reading too deeply into just a joke. Great. Now they're going to get that joke out of the game, and they're going to make sure to watch their writing so that they don't say anything that you idiots can misinterpret as an attack on the left. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
I think the real...
That's my opinions on it. I'm not talking to you guys, my subscribers, by the way, because you guys are cool. I'm talking about the people who annoy me.
I think the real hidden Xperia has popped up. He has a check mark next to his name. He must be real.
Is he real?
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's very annoying that people have looked way too deeply into a simple joke, and now thanks to them, Bethesda is going to make sure that they censor a lot of their stuff so it doesn't get misinterpreted as more attacks on the left. And that's annoying.
I'm sorry for stealing your joke, but Tross, that rant, I did not see that coming, and frankly, I'm shocked. Aren't you?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry for stealing your joke, but it was perfect.
Oh my god, it is the real hidden Xperia. Wait, or is it the fake one?
There are two of them. One has a check mark next to his name. One doesn't.
Are people mad that I was mad at the people? That one?
Yeah, that guy. He has a check mark next to his name, and then there's another guy who doesn't have a check mark.
Okay, maybe it is the real one. Luke, Hidden Xperia, if you are the real one, say something. Say something, an inside joke that only the real Hidden Xperia would know.
I'm verified, fam.
Okay, you know what? That's Hidden Xperia. he said fam, it's him. Proof from a bot XD. Yeah, that's him. That's him. It's Hidden Xperia, my lads. My boys.
Flood is an offensive term. We refer to them as big boys.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. The Flood is an offensive term. We refer to them as fungal colony.
I actually really like the Flood. Just like generally as a principle, I've always liked hive mind creatures. They're so interesting.
Well, what's boring is Halo 2 brought in the Grave Mind, and I fucking hate the Grave Mind because it makes the Flood not scary. When the Flood have a wacky rhyming brain that you can reason with and have conversations. It's like, oh, so it's not an unstoppable force of nature, it's a thing that thinks for itself like any normal person does? Well, that's lame.
To some extent, I would argue that, like, the Grave Mind is a way for the Flood to protect itself against the one thing that could permanently kill it, the Halos. Like, kind of like the way that the Zerg are the perfect evolutionary creature. The Grave Mind was a method for the Flood to protect themselves against the one thing that they cannot fight back against. But then also, I see where you're coming from.
Well, the 343 Industries has done a lot to make the Grave Mind a little bit more palatable for me, and now the lore of the Grave Mind, I actually think it's pretty cool. Where the Grave Mind comes from and what it is and what the Flood are. It's actually pretty neat. Now I'm okay with the Grave Mind.
Fate Xperia has not left, though he seems to be retracting his messages. Yeah, let's just call him Fakey.
Well, hang on. No. Fakey is boring. What's a fun pun that we can come up with for a fake Hidden Xperia? Like, what's like a fun...
Unexperienced.
No, that's really lame.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine! You don't like my humor, I'll take it elsewhere.
Like somebody made a fake late night gaming account, and what I fucking love, like, this is the kind of shit I like. His account was late not gaming, like not, and that was a lot of fun. So like, we need a good thing for fake Hidden Xperia for his
Zidden
channel.
Hyperia, Ridden Xperia, Open Fake Xperia, Jummy Xperia,
Jummy Xperia,
Revealed Xperia, Fake Xperia.
Fake Xperia's, well, that's just like
Set Xperia.
Visible Xperia. Come on, guys.
Not iconic.
No, that's... Come on, guys. You can do better than that.
Dave.
Dave's pretty good. Dave's pretty fucking good, I'm not gonna lie.
Windows Xperia.
I like... Guys, no. We're done, okay?
Windows Xperia.
We're done. Windows Xperia is the name for fake Hidden Xperia, okay? Windows Xperia.
Windows Xperia.
We're done. We found the name. That's pretty good. We found it. Okay, Windows Xperia. This is the fake Xperia name.
Windows Xperia. That is a good name.
That's pretty good. Someone just straight up went for the obvious one. Gay Xperia. That's pretty mean.
So someone wants you to tell me about Jimmy Xperia. Is there context that I do not understand?
Man, it's a long story.
It's a long story, oh boy.
It's a very long, complicated story.
Oh boy, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Alright, so someone keeps spamming that you're an idiot because Dolan Dark and Danger Dolan are not the same person.
Did Danger Dolan make a different channel then?
I don't know.
Called Dolan Dark? Because when I look up Danger Dolan, I find Dolan Dark's channel, which means he must have changed his name to Dolan Dark. Danger Dolan. Remember, Sith can be an offensive term. They prefer the term emotionally challenged Jedi.
Someone else posted that Sith is an offensive term. They should use Force Realist.
His planet... Oh, no! I'm a fucking idiot! No, he's not Dolan Dark. His channel's called Planet Dolan. Thank you. Here's what happened. In my drunken stupor, my brain narrowed in on the name Dolan. And so I disregarded that there was Dark after the... And so I was just like, nope, that's the channel, because Dolan... No, it's Planet Dolan. Thank you. Whoever pointed that out... Thank you. Also, thank you for having the patience.
That guy across the street. Literally, that's his name.
That guy across the street. That guy, I like that guy from across the street. Oh no! Where would he go? Okay.
God damn it, someone's calling you Drunk Night Daddy again.
Drunk Night Daddy.
Do not make me vomit. That is my brother you're talking about.
Yeah, they call me that. I don't like how passively I just said that. Yeah, they call me their daddy.
They call me daddy.
Yeah.
Ugh. I want to vomit. Yeah.
Does anyone still watch Danger Dolan? I like I said, the only reason I ever watched Danger Dolan was because I thought well, number one, he was Australian, and we have Australian cousins, so I thought it was really funny. But also because of his intro, which I thought was hilarious, that it was just like, Danger Dolan, and then it was done. Like, it was just him saying the name of his channel.
I don't really know this guy.
He's not important. It's just a Watch Mojo clone. It's not worth watching.
Alright, yeah, I'm not exactly big on, like, YouTube personalities, and the only guy that I, like, follow who's a YouTube personality would be, god damn it, what was his name?
I hate everything.
No, he's the guy who does the fast frames. Someone will probably comment it. I don't know. God damn it, I can't think. I've drunk some.
Late Night Gaming, what are your thoughts on Black Ops 4? I played the Black Ops 4 beta for 2 hours.
It's Call of Duty, that's all you need to know.
It is a piece of software that you download to your computer or video game console that emulates the appearance of a combat zone in which you can create classes and kill opponents in an online environment. It's just another Call of Duty game. Which is also weird because it's coming from Treyarch, who usually, for better or for worse, I'm thinking of Black Ops 3, where it was like this embarrassing Titanfall clone. Like, Black Ops 4 is like the most unambitious Call of Duty game yet.
Someone called it malware.
Yeah. It's just like, Black Ops 4, I don't care. Like, there's nothing going for it. Nothing it does is interesting. Nothing it does is unique. Graphically, it's not a very good-looking game. Sound design-wise, it's not a very good sounding game. It's... What?
Vomiting is an offensive term. Please refer to it as bird food.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very big on whenever I hear something, like, disgusting, because, like I said, I want to be a doctor. I'm used to looking at horrible things. Whenever I see something gross, I always refer to it as vomiting, because throwing up sounds so neat, but then vomiting, it's just,
think puking sounds equally puke.
Like,
yeah,
you
no,
can hear the feeling
I was gonna
of
say,
it.
Black Ops 4 is bird food. Yep.
Someone wants to... the Fate Xperia renamed himself Windows Xperia.
Thank you, Fake Hidden Xperia. Fake.
He also wants to know where to
Windows
find...
Xperia, you're fucking great. I like that you did that.
He also wants to know here where you can find good porn of you.
Good porn of me?
Yep. Good porn of late night gaming.
Trying to think where you could find good porn of late night gaming.
I don't know, Pornhub has everything.
Listen, here's the thing. I know that there's that rule, you know, whatever. 60... What is it? 64? Rule 64?
Yeah, Rule 60... or Rule 34. There is porn of everything on the internet.
Rule 34 is not real. There is not porn of everything.
There's porn of that, like, salt shaker lady from that one salt company.
Yeah, but there's, like, not porn of, like... There's not, like, fire hydrant porn.
Probably.
No, there's no such thing as fire hydrant porn.
Alright, I'm looking it up.
No! Stop it! Okay, you know what? Look it up. I'm a little bit curious now. Fire hydrant. Rule 634. Fire hydrant. Order 66.
Do you want fire hydrant dildos or girls rubbing themselves on fire hydrants?
Fuck! There is porn of it. Well, no.
It's not porn of the fire hydrant, but the fire hydrant used in porn.
Okay. Find an anthropomorphic, sexualized fire hydrant.
Alright, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm looking for. If you can't find it, then Rule 34 is not real.
Yeah, there's one of the fire hydrant coming.
Okay, you know what? No, I think we're done.
Yeah, let's not talk about this anymore.
I think we're done with fire hydrants in Rule 34.
God, I don't like thinking about this.
Yeah, there are some things best left.
Oil comes from fossils of dinosaurs. Oil is used to make plastic. That means plastic dinosaurs are made out of real dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Well, no, because plastic's also made out of a variety of other compounds, like sand. Did you know there's an industry in sand?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, we're running out of sand.
I doubt that.
Well, no, like,
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, beaches every year shrink by about a foot because basically, sand mining operations. Because, like, sand goes into all sorts of things. Plastic, concrete, paint, like, all sorts of stuff, and there are operations to, you know, suck up sand from the ocean floor. And you can't use desert sand because that's a different kind of sand because of the way the wind affected it. Yeah, so we're actually starting to run out of sand. Like, beaches are starting to shrink and stuff, and there's actual limitations placed on how much sand can be mined a given year. So now there's even parts of the black market that are illegally selling sand.
Jesus.
Like, we're fucking up this planet, guys.
Oh boy.
Apparently, okay, somebody probably knows better than me in the comment section. I had like one of those weird late night thoughts that keep you up at night where I was thinking about like the Fukushima power plant disaster, and I was like, hasn't tons and tons of radioactive water been being pumped into the oceans? Like, over the course of the last couple of years?
Yes, this was like 2 years ago or so, but I remember seeing a news report that, like, irradiated fish and minor radiation damage have been seen on people in the California beaches because of how the radioactive waters have spread across the ocean and into American waters.
Like, we're gonna have to do something.
We definitely are.
I mean, it's like, we're gonna stop, we're gonna go down to the beaches and we're gonna tell that radiation to stop. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, how do you clean up something like that? I know that there's a type of, it's either a type of protein or a type of fungi that can absorb radiation, and it's usually used for treatments of radioactive areas, but how do you clean up a disaster like that?
Apparently some of it was pumped, so it's not as big of a threat, but I guess it's still there.
Guys, we gotta stop messing with nuclear...
I did see something that was actually kind of neat, where Switzerland, I think, Scandinavia, one of those northern countries in Europe, they have begun the preparation for a permanent nuclear waste disposal. Nuclear. Yeah. Yes, I have that problem.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
I say the word weird.
Well, guys, it's not nuclear. That's not a word. It's pronounced nuclear. Thank you.
But
I just had to say that. Okay.
I know, I say it weird, and I'm trying.
No,
to fix that.
No. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's a thing that a lot of people do. Technically, it's not correct. It's nuclear, not nuclear.
But
to the point that Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones, he's like, "I survived a nuclear explosion," and he said that on camera, and it's like, oh god.
What I was saying though was that like some northern European country, I can't remember the name of it, it began preparations for the first permanent containment site, where what it is designed to do is it is a series of caves and tunnels deep underneath the ground. They are going to put the the radioactive fuel rods and put them in containers, bury them deep underground, seal the whole thing with cement, and then forget about it.
But the thing is, wouldn't that not... The thing is...
it's so deep underground that the radiation will not leak back to the surface, and so long as, in, say, 1,000 years, when 1% of the energy has been dispersed, no one forgets about it, finds this new fancy place, and decides to go screwing around, it will degrade over time with the absolute minimal amount of damage to the surrounding landscape.
Yeah, that's... Man.
It is not perfect, but
it's
it is
the
absolute best we can do. With the primary problem being, as I said, hoping that some moron in 1,000 years, when we forget about the place, doesn't come in and, ooh, what's this? Might as well dig it up.
Hey guys, maybe we should just stop using nuclear power, until we have
better control of it.
100% control. Because the problem is, we have control of nuclear power 95% of the time, but that 5%, when it fucks up, it's so bad. It is so bad that it's almost not worth risking that 5%. It needs to be 100% in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We can't have any more Chernobyl-style hot zones. We're just this entire plot of land, this just chunk of the planet, we can't live here.
Though, do you think a viable solution would be shooting off, the spent fuel rods into space?
Well, no, because then it would just travel through space and it would pollute, it would pollute outer space and probably eventually come back to Earth and enter our atmosphere.
The one thing, though, that I can think of is space is so vast that... Oh, sorry. Space is so vast that wouldn't at some point the density of the radiation emitted be so spread out that the effect would be heavily mitigated?
It would.
It's not a perfect solution, but what do you think?
Well, the problem also that you got to consider, and this is actually a thing that's being discussed.
Shoot it into the sun.
Well, no, not shoot it into the sun, because we don't want to fuck up the sun. Not that a tiny bit of radiation... basically, the Earth, the world, the galaxy is in perfect balance. The universe is in perfect balance. Everything's fine. We don't want to start fucking up the galaxy. Because that's when we start having apocalyptic situations on our hands where, you know what I mean? It's kind of if, one planet in our solar system just falls out of orbit of the sun, just a little bit, the rest of us are all fucked.
The butterfly effect.
Well, that's not what the butterfly effect is.
Isn't that what the
You're referring to the domino effect. But, Yeah, it's...
Okay.
We don't... Like, if we just shoot off a canister of radiation into outer space, God knows what kind of because that's unpredictable. You know, that's not part of the natural flow of the... Like, the rhythm that the galaxy has found itself into. Kind of like how orbit is this beautiful balance of all these planets happened to begin orbiting the sun, and you know, our planet happens to be in the perfect place where you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to upset that because we don't want to fuck ourselves over. We don't want to screw with space and start polluting it.
Why can't we just make contracts with incubators and get rid of all of this?
Guys, what we really need is we need an alternate dimension to dump all our shit in.
Oh boy. What if the radiation accidentally hits aliens and they see it as a threat of war?
Man, yeah. Well, I imagine that, like, aliens, if an advanced alien civilization sees a random canister of radioactive waste, I feel like they are at the stage where they are so advanced that they understand that this was clearly not intentional. Because they can see it's not designed like a weapon. Because, like, yeah, I get that we all grew up in the Milky Way galaxy, and so we'd be very similar, but, like, aliens, they're so different. Like, if they were to get to outer, like, physics aren't, like, magic. Like, there aren't different spells to get into outer space. I'd imagine technologically an advanced alien civilization would have probably followed the same footsteps that humanity is going through. Like, you know, using the same kind of minerals, the same kind of, like...
My general thoughts on aliens are one of three things. One, they don't exist and we're alone in this universe. Two, they exist but are, like, culturally inferior to us. Like, they haven't reached the stage of technology we have. And so, how are we going to know they exist without getting spaceships ourselves? Or three, they are better than us. They see how weak we are compared to them, and why should they care about us? We're inferior.
Somebody's saying I can think of a couple ways to get into outer space. Here's the thing. The things that you're thinking of are... here's the thing. The things that you're saying are very rational, and they're very realistic, which means an alien would have probably come to the same conclusions to be getting into... Like, basically, you wouldn't have traditional, like, the golden age of science fiction in the 1960s and 70s, where, you know, it would be like a lone planet with a godlike being on the planet. You wouldn't have fantastical science fiction stories like that. I'd imagine if an alien got into outer space, they would have used very similar technology and science to us in order to get into outer space.
Of course, then there is always the Lovecraft thing, like, what if the aliens themselves are space or something?
Yeah. In which case, there's another theory that I've read. It's an interesting... It's the zoo theory. It's not called that, but some people call it just for layman's terms, where the idea is... Because we... Statistically, based on how old the universe... Like, here's the thing. If you're a Christian... I say here's the thing again.
Here's the thing about here's the thing.
Here's the thing about saying here's the thing. When God said he made the world in 7 days, or he made the universe in 7 days, what does 7 days mean? Does he mean...
That is what I have always thought.
Yeah, does he mean 24 hours? Like, because a day to God is probably something else, so...
Because he didn't even create the sun until, like, what, day 2? So how could there have been... Whatever day meant is probably something drastically different for whatever deity exists.
So, but more so people who believe in Christianity, you can also believe in evolution. You can also believe in science. Like, the two are not, you know, the two are not mutually exclusive. But, so, ignoring, you know, a lot of religion, if we were to talk about, like, the idea of where we are in the universe, based on how old the universe is, and the Milky Way galaxy, just by math, we're not alone in the Milky Way galaxy. It is impossible that we are alone based on how old the Milky Way galaxy is, and just simple math, like what kind of planets there are in the Milky Way galaxy. Like, you know, our little tiny quadrant of the Milky Way, where we've got our Pluto over there, we got our Saturn. Like, we are only in a tiny, tiny corner of the galaxy. Like, there's more to explore. So it's like, who knows what's on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy?
Someone referenced the greatest horror movie of all time, The Thing.
The Thing's pretty good.
Fucking amazing. But yeah, it's all fun and games until we come into contact with The Thing.
Have you ever heard about a gigantic ring in outer space? Yes.
What was that? Dyson Sphere?
They call it Halo.
What was it, like the Dyson Sphere?
No, he's making a Halo joke.
Okay.
No, Dyson spheres are something different, and they're actually pretty cool. The concept of Dyson spheres. Oh, someone brought down a warbling.
Yeah, but, like, thinking about it realistically, The Thing, do you think an entity like that could exist?
No, that would make no fucking sense. Like, The Thing exists... Like, could you imagine... The Thing is one of many species, right? Could you imagine an ecosystem with an organism that replicates very quickly and consumes and assimilates basically every... It would run out of food eventually. It would consume the world in a matter of weeks. Like, no, The Thing is not a realistic organism because it would completely destroy and consume any ecosystem it was brought into. Something realistic would be something that eats and then it's full. And it's done. It's fine. You know, it ate its fill. Yeah, no, something that just, like, kills and kills and kills and is, like, this violent thing with, like, absolutely no regard. Like, no, that's not... No, that would not work in the real world.
Apparently God is selfish because he could just give us all the answers to life and shit.
Well, of course, God, like... Here's the thing, like, I know that there's, like, some atheists that are just like, if God was real and I could talk to him, I'd say, how dare you? It's like, it's a deity, it's God. Like, who the fuck are you? Like of course he's selfish. He's God, dude.
So
like,
you're very religious, while I am very agnostic.
I'm not religious. I've come to the terms with the fact that I was raised Christian, and I've tried to become an atheist. I can't do it, and I've understand probably the reason why is because I was raised Christian, so that's too ingrained at my brain at a young age, so I can't reject a lot of those concepts. But instead of rejecting them and becoming very depressed because I feel like there's no point to life, I'm going to take a lot of my religious opinions and assimilate them into something that's compatible with modern culture. You know, I'm not going to be like, don't go to the doctor, just pray. God'll make your leg better. Like, no! See a fucking doctor!
The way that I've always seen it is, should a deity exist, they would be very hands-off, in the way that, say, a parent would be. God created the world, took care of humanity because they're like babies that could barely keep themselves from shoving forks in sockets, and then eventually he decided that, okay, humanity is strong enough, they can deal with their own shit, and now he's just kind of relaxing on God Beach somewhere, hanging out with a beer, just watching humanity do its own thing, and oh well, look, they're screwing themselves over.
And then
this is their fault, not mine.
Some piece of comfort that I do get in that there probably isn't a God. There probably isn't. Like, realistically so. Despite me actually believing in one, there probably isn't one. But some peace that I find is that I don't think religion is inherently this awful evil thing that's repressing us. Because I do think if you find something that compels you to be a good person, doesn't matter if it's real or not, as long as you can assimilate it into your everyday routine without it being disruptive, like as long as, you know, you're not crazy and you're like, God hates the gays, like, you know, and you're just disrupting every life around you, like, then you're fine. That's healthy that you have something that motivates you, that you have something personal to you that you believe in. I mean, keep it to yourself. And like Father John Johnson at our church, something I love that he said about Christianity and his approach to it is, leave the office door open. If they're interested, they'll come into your office. You don't need to scream out on the streets that they're all going to hell.
I agree with that, like, mindset. Like, a kind of similar note is like Darkest Dungeon. One of the big things about the game is that when your characters start getting stressed out, you can either send them to like the bar and the brothel, or send them to pray. And like anyone can pray, anyone can meditate. It doesn't really matter if they're a religious class or not. It's just a way that they cope with the difficulties of life. It allows them to live, and, you know, so they do it.
Here, Are there any atheists in the chat that are getting annoyed that we're talking about religion? Not that, like, that's annoying, but that you're an atheist, but more so, I get it. I get that it's probably annoying. Should we change topics so you don't need to hear us talking about things that are probably not real?
Alright,
because we can absolutely change the subject if it's not interesting.
Alright, so Windows Xperia is saying that there's a gigantic ring in space and it's the biggest known object in the universe.
Is he being real, or is he like still making a Halo joke?
I'm looking it up. Huge.
Because chances are there is not a celestial body that is a compact, like, actual ring made of materials. It's probably a group of satellites, like meteoroids.
The only thing that I can find are, like, super-sized planets with, like, Saturn-esque rings around them, where it's just, like, huge amounts of comets and rock debris and whatnot. Comets is the wrong word. I can never differentiate rocks in space.
Man, you guys are fucking awesome. Like, I'm reading the chat. Like, listen, subscriber people, like, I like that the people who subscribe to my channel are generally consistently always incredible people. Like, even if my channel doesn't grow quite as well as the Actman's, you know, who blew up, he blew past me and blew past everybody, and now he's huge. I like that, like, with you guys, it's usually a few of you who subscribe, but almost everybody who subscribes is always consistently an intelligent person. So you guys are awesome. Just, I love reading your chats. I love reading your thoughts. Like, yeah, you guys are cool. I love you guys.
Everyone's saying I love you back. Someone also said, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I love my subscriber base. You guys are fucking awesome. I even hate using the term subscriber because I feel like that's like a weird, like, I'm above you, you are my subscribers. Like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like that kind of relationship. It just feels like we're all hanging out.
Find a name for them. There's this big YouTube channel that I'm a Patreon of called Tail Foundry. And they have given us, like, the moniker of, like, depending on, like, you're a friend of the Foundry, or if you're, like, one of the higher tier patrons like me, you're an engineer at the Foundry. And, like, there's a level of intimacy between the admins and the fans that I don't really feel with a lot of other groups. Thanks.
Oh, we're getting out of here. Wait up, buddy.
Let's start a religion where late night gaming is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, let's yeah. No, let's not do that. I don't know why I agreed. I was just thinking of, like, fun ideas to form a religion around. Why don't we just form a religion about making it always rainy? Like, rain is the reason I bring that up is because it's raining right now and I can hear it. Like, here's my opinion on weather. This is weird. If anybody else agrees with me, I don't know if this is just me being weird and specific, but it's one of those personal things that you keep to yourself because it's so odd and specific that you're like, what will I gain by sharing this? I hate when it rains and then the sun immediately comes out.
Oh god, I hate that.
Wait. Let me finish. The sun comes out and you can see the sun, like, shadows are showing. Harsh shadows because the sun is now casting. And you can see the reflections off of the puddles.
Oh,
and
god,
it's humid.
yeah.
So it's bright, it's humid, but it's got the atmosphere of... Didn't it rain? So, like, my body and my brain is very unhappy because it's like, why is it sunny despite looking wet? Fuck this. I hate it. Like, if you're gonna rain, rain. If you gotta change weather patterns, do it at night when everyone's asleep. Don't do it in broad daylight, please.
So, someone commented that rain is very calming to them.
Yeah, of
I
course
agree,
rain's calming.
but that brings up another topic.
Yeah.
Is there, like, a sound that you just love? As an example, for me, the sound of a train. Like the as the like wheels turn. That is so relaxing.
Like the way that the train starts like
and like the
moving.
thumping as it moves along the track, which that's one thing I really hate about America. We have horrible public transportation.
Yeah.
England has like amazing trains, and I would.
They have those wacky cars or those wacky buses that are red and they're like double deckered. I fucking love those buses. I don't know what they're called, but I love them whenever I see them.
Double decker buses.
You know what? That's probably what they're called. They're probably actually just called double decker buses, and I'm an idiot.
I absolutely love the sound effects of trains, and they are like, I can go to sleep to this stuff.
Well, sure,
what about you?
I think this comes into, because you have Asperger's, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I think it's probably the cyclical motion, or the cyclical repetition of the sound, where your brain, your like, you may not know it, but your brain knows it. Like, it can hear that it's a very cyclical sound effect.
The repetition is comforting.
Yeah, the repetition is what's very comforting. That may be what it is.
Yeah, I ended up downloading like this Rainmaker app, and I discovered that it had like a $1 expansion to unlock the train noises, and I was like, holy shit, yes!
The red ones are called London buses. Yeah, London buses are fucking awesome. I love, when I was a kid, I had a toy London bus that was part of a Thomas the Tank Engine set, and I fucking loved that thing. Thomas the Tank Engine's pretty cool, right? Like, I get that everyone's like, oh, you know, the meme. The Thomas the Tank Engine theme song. I'm like, no, did you watch the show when you were younger? It was pretty dope.
I don't remember much of it.
Remember the fat conductor?
All I remember...
Or not the fat conductor. What was his name? He wasn't the conductor. Was he called the fat conductor?
I don't remember, and all I remember about it was that you would get out the huge box set of, like, Thomas tracks, and then you would make this huge, elaborate train system, and then get super fucking pissed whenever I tried to change it.
Because you could barely walk, so you...
And I would always stumble into it, break everything, and then you would get, like, super fucking pissed.
Man.
We were both brats.
We were both fucking idiots as kids. Well, you less so in that you were just like a tiny human who wanted to be like your older brother, and I was just a brat who was like, I don't want a younger brother. I was happy playing with my toys by myself. Sir Top-End Hat. Holy shit. That is a name I have not heard in a while.
I feel like I am completely out of a loop.
Remember Sir Top-End Hat from Thomas the Tank Engine?
Nope. I don't remember anything about that show.
Listen, somebody also knows what's up. He says, you know what? Teletubbies is better than Thomas the Wank Engine, which I have to... Well, no, I don't think I can agree. Here, I loved Teletubbies, but what I loved about Teletubbies was Nunu and Teletubby Toast.
So, Teletubbies... Have you ever really thought about how terrifying they actually are?
Yes, we've all thought, yeah.
And the sun, a gigantic baby face.
Who cares? Babies are cute. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's a baby. That makes it creepy. It's like, yeah, it's also a really cute baby. Like, the sun giggles. Like, does your son giggle? No. No, I'd like a son that giggles and smiles at me and has a smushy baby face.
As someone who has worked in the restaurant industry for 3 years, I have gradually learned to hate children.
Teletubby custard, somebody brought up.
I feel like I vaguely recognize a lot of these names, but I can never piece things together. Ugh.
Teletubbies got banned in Germany? Why? They're Teletubbies.
What about Thomas the Spank Engine?
What was it? There was a show of... It was a Thomas the Tank Engine clone, clearly. But
Is
it
it
was
the one with the airplanes?
JJ the jet plane. No, it was not JJ the jet plane. It involved boats.
No idea what you're talking
It
about.
involved something. The tugboat. Well, no, there were.
Oh, the tugboat dude.
No, there were
that.
there were two shows. One of them was the tugboat dude, but there was another one that we saw when we were visiting our grandparents in California, and I remember seeing one episode and loving it and never being able to find it again. And by the time I could find it, I was too old and I didn't care.
Comments are not giving us any answers.
They're not giving us any answers. Greetings from Germany.
Hello, Germany person.
What do you think of Shadman? Shadman's pretty funny.
I hate the guy.
He's pretty funny. Like, not in terms of, like, the like, weird, gross sex stuff that he draws, because that's, like, whatever. If you get off on that, that's fun. It's more of, I find a lot of humor in that he takes really innocent things, and it's like, oh, no! I can't believe you did this! Like, this is horrible!
I hate the guy for that reason, but at the same time, I'm not, like, spewing everywhere, like, oh, he's a horrible person. No, I just hate the guy, and so I do not, I ban him whenever I'm looking for, like, I ban him from image sites that I follow, so I don't have to see his stuff. I try to avoid interacting with anyone talking about him. I just don't interact with him.
Yeah, a lot of the humor comes from how horrible he is. Like, the things he draws.
It is only a matter of
fucking awful.
It is only a matter of time until the platelets are contaminated.
Yeah, Shadman's pretty funny.
Dark Souls playthrough. Oh god, I completely forgot about that. Remember when I was doing a Dark Souls playthrough? That was forever ago.
Do you like Happy Tree Friends? Here's the
That's
thing.
Weird.
When Happy Tree Friends was, like, crazy and everyone was... I was a bit too old to get... to, like, you know, think that the shock value was funny. So I tried watching a bit of it and it was just like, I don't know. I get it, and I get why some people think this is funny and quote-unquote horrifying, but I don't know. It's just... Yeah, it seems expected that it's like, oh, they're cute animals. Are they going to start mutilating each other? Yep, they did.
It is a series that relies on shock value rather than depth.
Yeah, and it's, well, not that, like, all series need to have depth, but it's... Happy Tree Friends should have been a one-off YouTube video.
Yeah.
Not an entire series, because I get the joke. The joke is cute animals mutilating each other. You could have ended it there.
You know what took that to another extreme, though? The Danganronpa game series. Looking at cute, adorable people murdering each other. It's actually a very good, like, detective mystery game. The anime is sad. Very, very horribly done. But do you like mystery games?
Late Night Gaming, would you like melee headshots as a more challenging way to...
You both ignored my question and died.
Hang on. Melee headshots, here's the thing about melee headshots that are kind of, like, troubling. When you melee somebody in Halo... Yeah, okay, he's going to the bathroom, guys.
One moment.
When you do melee headshots, you kind of zero in, like the auto-aim gravitates you towards the center of the Spartan's body, so there's no real way to aim your melee at the head, because you'll just kind of center on their body due to the auto-aim. And then also, I think that that's a little bit spotty in that I could see netcode issues getting wonky. You know how it is. Are swastikas allowed now? Yeah, the swastika is no longer banned in Germany, which I understand why it was banned. I get a lot of people who are like, it's history, you don't want to change it. Like, guys, we were not objectively the villains in World War II. Like, for Germany, I 100% understand why that country had such a stigma against the swastika. Like, imagine if America announced that it was going to start purifying an entire ethnicity and taking... Like, yeah, America would start censoring a lot of its history if they lost the war.
I walk away hearing people talk about headshot knife attacks, and then come back hearing about Nazi Germany.
Which is ironic, because America does censor, like, a lot of its history. I think of, like, Pocahontas and how pop culture...
Yeah.
People kind of forget that Pocahontas was, like, what, a 12-year-old girl that was kind of, like... just taken by this, like, elderly, overweight Englishman when she was too young, married at, like, 14, and then she died in England, and she never got to see her home again. Like,
If you... Not downplaying what America has done, but if you want to see some really horrible stuff, Japan. They did some... Not strictly in World War II, but I think it takes place like a little bit before World War II really started getting going. But God, they did some fucking horrible shit in China.
Did I watch the Battlefield 5 trailer? The new one? Yes, I have. Guys, the new Battlefield 5 trailer is really good. It's so good. The new trailer for Battlefield 5. It's what the launch or the reveal trailer should have been. It is a very excellent trailer. I recommend you guys check it out. Let's see what else they're saying.
What do you think of the new trailer for Godzilla?
I don't know, man. I don't care about, like... I guess maybe it's because as I become older, I'm becoming a lot more jaded and cynical towards these big budget movies, which also sucks because whenever I tend to go see them, they always win me over in the end. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I didn't give a fuck about. I saw it. Turns out I loved it. Thor 2, or Thor 3, I didn't care until I saw it in the theaters, in which case it was like the most fun I have had in a movie theater in quite a while, seeing Thor 3. And, I mean... Even Godzilla, I didn't particularly care until I saw it, and then I liked it. I really liked Godzilla, so I assume I'm gonna like the new one, even though I don't care right now.
In Godzilla, I loved that scene where he, like, grabbed the monster, ripped its jaw open, and just breathed down its neck.
Yeah, like, everyone was throwing a temper tantrum that there wasn't enough Godzilla. Like, sometimes with, like, a media experience, there needs to be a big build-up.
That is a lot of what makes, like, horror good. That you don't see the big creature, and when it does show up, it is such a payoff.
And then, like, but that being said, there are also some movies where most of the movie being a fight sequence is good. Like, I think of the first Pacific Rim movie, where that was such a
Pacific Rim is giant robots fighting giant monsters.
That was such a fucking good movie. But
you cannot get not action in that.
But Godzilla, what I liked is that the entire movie was essentially cock-teasing you with, like, a fight. Until the final 15 minutes, where it was like, and here you go, here's Hollywood making a comical fight sequence between Godzilla and a giant monster. And it was just like, you could look at it, how impressive the CGI was, and you could see dollars burning on the screen, and think, Hollywood corporate suit sunk money into this dumb thing. I love it! Yes! This is amazing! Like... It was great. I loved the Godzilla movie.
Not to, though, regarding Pacific Rim, one of the things that made that movie especially good was the ending, in that there was no romance. Oh my god, what is this?
For Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was
like the
great.
end. There was that scene where it was building up to a kiss, and then no, it's a hug. Holy shit!
I fucking love that they didn't kiss at the end of Pacific Rim, because if they fucking kissed, that would have brought down some of the movie. It's like, well, fuck. Like, of course they're gonna bone. That's
one of the things that I absolutely hate about seeing in Hollywood, in a lot of Hollywood movies, is that there's always a romance
Yeah,
plot.
that's what always, like, I appreciate that Thor 3 didn't even fucking bother with a romance subplot, because that was always the worst part of any of the Thor movies. Like, I need to save Jane. And it's just like Natalie Portman, who can barely act for shit.
People are saying that Pacific Rim 2 was bad.
I've heard Pacific Rim 2 was bad, and I suspected it was going to be bad when I saw the trailer, and it took place during the day, and the Jaeger CGI looked so bad, and John Boyega was attached to it.
Ugh.
And I was, well, not that John Boyega is a bad actor. I think he's a fantastic actor, but it's usually the way that the cycle goes is a new actor has a breakout role in something, and then when a studio doesn't really have a lot of confidence in something, they'll get that breakout actor to try to trick people into the seats. Like the new Godzilla movie, I got really nervous when what's-her-name from Stranger Things Season 2, or Stranger Things, like, what's her name, 11? She's in the new Godzilla movie, and I'm just sitting here like, oh no. Okay, I'll have to see if it's good.
People are saying to fix the microphone.
Is the microphone crackling?
I don't know. Here, let me see. Or at least through my shitty phone audio. God damn it. Can't hit the button. Eh?
Is it crackly, guys?
I heard a little bit of crackling, but...
Okay. Hang on. It is a little bit crackly. Hang on, guys. We're gonna fix it.